Hello everyone, this is a user guide for the Copula plugin. The plugin works exactly the same way for the Petrel versions of 2017, 2018 and 2019, and I'm going to demonstrate the use using Petrel 2018. So first of all, we of course need to start up Petrel, and once it's started we need to select our test project, which you should have received as a part of the plugin. That project is completely artificial, so it doesn't contain any confidential data. So once Petrel opened up our little project, we can have a look at our grid. So here we have our grid and we have our observations. In this case, we have porosity observations. And in order to use the plugin, we have to go to property modeling and we start with the standalone version. So here we have the standalone version of the plugin. So we click on the Copula and then this window pops up. So we need to select our grid property. In this case, it's the porosity. And we need to select the zone in which we want to model porosity. So here we have our zone, which we pop in here. Then we have to select a bin spacing, and the bin spacing basically describes the discretization of the copula that we're going to use. So in this case, I selected 11. Then we have the option to choose advanced mode or just the standard mode. So if we don't tick the advanced box and click apply, then the plugin will basically do everything automatically. So it will fit a marginal distribution, fit the copulas, and start the simulation process. And you just click apply, it runs, and then it gives you the results. But we are going to use the advanced mode. So we click advanced, and then we press the run button to start the actual process. So what the plugin did is that it took all our input data, so all our porosity observations, and it fitted a marginal distribution to this data. So here we have a histogram of our data, and on top of that we have the probability density function that fits best to this data. So in this case, it's a gamma distribution, and we could just click accept and move on in the process. However, we can also change the distribution a little bit. So if we think it should, for example, be a little bit more like that, so we can move it around using those sliders up here, something like that. I think that fits a little bit better, so we can use that. We can reset to the best fit, or we can also change the distribution function. So we could, for example, say, well, I guess a exponential distribution would fit better. So we can select the best fitting exponential distribution. And we can do the same here. We can change the distribution parameters. Again, we can just reset the best fit for the currently selected distribution, or we can reset to the overall best fit. So we use, again, the gamma distribution, and we change it a little bit. So I would say this looks like a reasonably good fit. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we accept this marginal distribution. Okay, and then we click the run button again, and then the plugin starts fitting the copulas. So once this is finished, we can make this window a little bit bigger. And we can see the rank correlation function, which is a generalization of a variogram, and the asymmetry function. And we have empirical copulas for given separation distances and the corresponding theoretical copulas of the fit. In this case, the fit is not very good because our red asymmetry function here, the theoretical one, the fitted one, does not match the empirical function at all. So that means we have to change it a little bit. So first of all, we want to get rid of some of the nugget effect. Make the range a little bit shorter, and we can play with those parameters here. M and the K parameter are parameters of the V copula. if you watch the video on the theory about copulas, you will get a better understanding of those parameters. But if you scroll down here, you will see a spatial random field that could result based on the currently selected parameters. So for example, we could now change the range a little bit. So if you remember that picture here, and we make the range much, much shorter, and we go down again, then you can see how those structures in this field change. So that gives you a little bit of a feeling for what sort of spatial structures you can expect. So we go back up again, and we try to match the empirical functions. Good range. Let's go back down. So that's what we can expect from the current parameters. We can see that the theoretical copulas and the empirical copulas are kind of similar. So we have more density in the upper right corner than in the lower left corner, and almost no densities in the upper left and the lower right corner. Okay, so once we are happy with our fitting process, we again just click accept, and then the plugin starts with the actual simulation process. Once it's finished, we can close this window, and you can see here that we created two new properties. The first one is our simulated field in its actual distribution space. So these are the actual simulated porosities. And the second property here is the same field. However, it is in copula space, so it's in rank space, which gives you a little bit of a better feeling for the actual underlying spatial dependent structure. So we can also use the plugin inside the petrophysical modeling. So we go back to our porosities, to petrophysical. We select porosities here. We have the correct zone already selected. And then we select the Copula method. And we pretty much have the same functionality as in the standalone version. So we could just click apply and it would run automatically, or we select the advanced method and then it starts the same process as I showed you before. The plugin also works in the workflow manager, so we can create a new workflow. Here we go. Process using a 3D grid. So we select our 3D grid here, pop it in there, and then we want property modeling. And again, we have both choices. We have the copula within the petrophysical modeling or the standalone version. So we choose the standalone version. And we again need to select our grid property. So we want the porosity for zones. Change the spacing to 11. Okay. Now test. Okay, that would run. So if we now run, the plugin would again start the automated process, because within the workflow manager you cannot use the advanced mode. So that's pretty much all there is to say about how to use the plugin using our little test case. Thank you very much for your attention. And as always, if there are any more questions, feel free to contact us here at the Center for Natural Gas.